Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out Midnight Wanderer. This is a little visual novel of Ichio. A traveling human stumbles upon a creature camping out in the woods. That human would happen to be you, and lucky for you, the creature in question is quite friendly. Listen to their tale of 900 words, the great escape from the jaws of a giant whale. Sounds very Pinocchio-like. I think we're just going to jump in. This game was made for the O2A2 Visual Novel Jam 2023, a micro visual novel jam with a strict asset limitations and a 1,000-word limit. A fire crackles nearby. Thank God, you think. It's been hours. You haven't seen home for days. The crunching of the leaves under your feet permeates the surrounding forest. You see a glim figure's ears twitch at the noise. They're slouched upon a log. You pause just before the small clearing. The figure stands. Hello? Hello? The gentle voice comes from the creature. They step forward. You return the greeting. What brings you here? I didn't know humans like yourself would travel as far as the West Forest. I'm traveling north. Oh, you are? How interesting. I do wonder what you are traveling up there for. You explain carefully, gesturing around the area as if you're familiar with it, too. You aren't. I see. The creature perks up, seemingly remembering something and hastily moving to their raggedy tent, perching their bags inside it. They come out of their tent with something in their hand. Here you are. The creature opens their claw. It's a golden compass, worn from years of use, possibly decades. It's interesting that they keep referring to this character as non-human, like their ears twitch. And see, it's like a little pointed at the top with little black spots at the top, round and big at the bottom. They don't have like a human nose per se. They've got little horns, maybe, just one. Tail? But overall, they look pretty human. I would say even their ears and face are extremely human, and this doesn't look like a claw from what I can see, so I wonder just how not human they are. They smile weakly at your reaction. I know it isn't much, but it would be useful, no? I don't see a compass on your person, anyway. They are right. You've been moving with the aid of the stars. It's completely useless during sunlight hours. The creature lends you its black claw. My name is Fido, by the way. Would you care to join me for a short while? Your legs suddenly felt like gelatin, and, craving the warmth of the fire, you nod and place your belongings by the adjacent log. You know, your circumstance reminds me of a story of my own. Come, I'll tell you all about it. You see, it started with a ship. They are beaming now with excitement. A ship, yes. I was traveling overseas with a small crew during the early years of the 19th century, which isn't too terribly long ago. I had taken an interest in whales specifically, and other creatures that lurked mystifyingly in the gray ocean. It was cloudy on this particular day, when all of a sudden, out of the great, big ocean, a whale erupted. A giant whale. It had been what I was waiting for all along. But my celebration quickly halted when it gnawed on our tiny ship, sending us flying into its jaws. I managed to slip between its teeth, narrowly escaping my immediate doom. How did you get out? Oh, I waited patiently. I learned over my years of traveling and survival to ration my supplies in situations like these. Yes, situations as being stuck in a whale's mouth. And so I climbed the walls, creeping up and into its gaping blowhole. Air, at last! For most people, particularly humans, they would give up at this point. How can you ride a whale all the way to shore? And to that, I say, you aren't believing hard enough, my friend. You certainly weren't believing this. There's no way to ride a whale efficiently. You would either fall off or drown, if not the first option. I see your face, and it's telling me you have no faith. You are truly human. There is no fault in that, but I must conclude my story. So, one detail I purposely neglected to mention was that I can communicate with different animals quite well. It's a natural gift, I would say. At the time of this event, I had studied cats, dogs, birds, raccoons. The typical, you know. But as I was on the ship, I had studied quite heavily how to communicate with whales. Not that I had been anticipating this, of course, but it came in handy. And so I told the whale, "Excuse me, sir or ma'am, but I am just a wanderer, and I would love to get back home if you don't mind." And the whale then said, "Sure, I don't mind, but you have to give me something valuable in return, because it's a long way until we reach land." And then I said, "Deal, Mr. Whale. I have just the thing." You stared with intrigue. "You are wondering what I gave Mr. Whale, yes? Well, I gave him my most valuable item. It was a flute. Not that Mr. Whale could use it by any means, but while I was in his mouth, I noticed all he had eaten had something golden. Mr. Whale likes things that shine, and my flute, being brilliantly golden, was the perfect choice." You suddenly felt quite exhausted, eyes feeling so heavy you could fall asleep sitting up. "Ah, it appears it's past midnight. You should rest, you know. I will keep watch and play a song while you sleep." They smile warmly at you, and then you did. You drifted off to sleep. You dreamt of a giant whale in the ocean, gobbling up everyone except for the creature, who rode off into a sunset full of clouds and mystique. You awoke the next morning to find everything gone: the tent, the fire, the bags, even the log upon which they sat. The only remnant of their existence was a golden compass, glimmering in light of the morning sun, awaiting the day to travel. The end. Credits are literally everything aside from the audio in Cat 186. Thank you for making the game. Oh, what a cute, simple little game. I was expecting it to be a little longer, but it was only about 1,000 words, so, which is part of the game jam. So, my thoughts and feelings. The art is good. I know it had limited assets, so this makes it a pretty, starter game friendly kind of thing. I'm curious to know more about the characters, so I'd like to see more in the future. The art for them is quite cute. I like the style. The story itself is fine. A little silly. So I would kind of hope that they are an unreliable narrator versus it all being completely true. But if it is true, I would like to maybe actually see a future game where we're playing as Fido, who goes out to the ocean to try and talk to whales or whatever, and gets eaten and then has to convince Mr. Whale to go to shore. So maybe we see a little more detail of all the things that happened on that trip. I think the story being told here is like a precursor story, because it's interesting enough for a short evening, our evening alone in the woods with some spooky traveler. But it's a little too, but wait, what about all of these other questions that are running through my head? For me to feel satisfied with the ending, if that makes sense. So I definitely want to see more. I'm not saying this is bad. I just want to see more. And that's my reason why, is I have many questions that I want to have actualized in seeing Fido actually meet the whale and talk to the whale and convince the whale, like, hey, my golden flute is amazing and you definitely want it. It would be fun. Because, no way they're out in the middle of the ocean and the whale just immediately gets over to shore. So what happens in the interim? That would be fun to see. Definitely not like Pinocchio. Not really. Also, why did the whale try to eat the tiny boat? I need to know. I have so many questions. I gotta know. If whales are so smart in this universe, and if we have the ability to talk to whales in this universe, I say we lightly, because, we're just a human, not a fun creature. I gotta know. Surely they would know better. But maybe they don't. Let me find out. Anyway, that's been it for this little visual novel. I hope you like it. If you did, go leave a comment on the Itch.io page for the author to check out. I'm sure they would love to know your thoughts and feelings. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!